All right, welcome back. You are live. I love it when it says that. So, what I'm going to talk about in this episode is how to forgive yourself so you can continue to or start striving for your goals. Right. So, my name is Reggie, founder of Fit for Freelance, where we build adaptive business leaders through compassionate health coaching. Welcome. I'm coming to you live on YouTube and Facebook Mondays at 8:30 Eastern Time. 8:30 p.m. that is. So if you're watching live, give me a like, leave a comment. Let's make it a little bit interactive so I can keep in touch and you guys can get something out of this. So this is a big one, forgiveness. So a lot of people might be wondering, what does forgiveness have to do with health, right? Or starting any new endeavor. And that's the biggest thing I want to talk about is when you're starting a new habit or you are taking on a big venture, maybe entrepreneurship or a new plan, maybe relationships, anything like that. There's a chance that you might be holding yourself back based on something that happened in the past, right? Maybe something didn't work out, something didn't meet your expectation, it didn't match up, you faced a disappointment, maybe you even let yourself down, right? So forgiving yourself is going to be an essential element to making progress or starting again. And so I put a link in the description to my blog post, two big things holding you back, two big fears, fitforfreelance.com/fear. And basically that's about your fear of failure, right? That's a big one. And the other one is fear of rejection. That combination of things can really hold you back from making any kind of major change you want in your life. So look out for that. And so I give you some tips there, and we're going to go over some steps. So it's in the guilt-free framework where we talk about it, that top left corner, if you're on the live stream, confidence, compassionate self-efficacy. So those are the three things we build, confidence and self-compassion, to realistic focus and accountability to become an adaptive business leader. So if you don't have that self-compassion, it's really easy to be stuck casually implementing things. So you'll start something and maybe on your diet or new nutrition plan or whatever, you like, oh, I had pancakes and I wasn't supposed to have that. So I might as well just have the double cheeseburger for lunch and something big. Or you just write out the whole day and then you say, oh, I'll start again on Monday, or I'll start again in the new year. Leave a comment if that's you, right? So this happens all the time where people get stuck because they don't know. So if you have this 8 steps, I call it the 8 secrets just for a little clickbaity title. Let's go through the one. First step is going to be pay attention to your feelings, right? So a lot of people don't understand the connection between self-compassion and then weight loss or being an adaptive business leader, but paying attention to your feelings is actually a really important signal for how you're feeling about something. If you can't let something go, how do you feel about it? And check out the values that are underlying that, right? So if you can even apply to someone else, right? If someone else did you dirty and it didn't work out how you're expecting, right? So check out and understand how you really feel about that. And then the next step is say or write the mistake, right? So if you can get focused on what exactly is bothering you about that, that's going to give you a little bit more clarity instead of just having this like generalized feeling of regret or remorse and shame and guilt, right? That's the big thing. It's called the guilt-free game plan, the guilt-free framework, because we want to get beyond that guilty feeling and really start to dial into what is affecting that. So leave a comment if that's resonating with you, because that's a big part of what I'm doing here every Monday night. So next, monitor your self-talk, right? So if you've done something that didn't line up with your goals or you made a mistake, right, you have to check out how you feel about it. Get clear on identifying it, and then next, monitor your self-talk. So just because an action has happened, even if it was a really awful thing, right, or you made a really poor decision, or you just messed up, like any combination of that, right? Sometimes mistakes happen. You want to monitor your self-talk and not take on an identity of someone who does that often, or that's not what defines you, that one instance. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain. But if you are able to say, like, I did that one time, and then if you follow the rest of these steps, you'll have a plan so you aren't likely to make those mistakes again. You have something so it doesn't happen again. You're going to be in the process of having more self-compassion and being able to forgive yourself. All right. So the next step 4 is reframe your harmful beliefs, right? So instead of labeling yourself or identifying like, oh, I'm so stupid, or I suck at this, right? I don't have time for this. So you might start to look for ways to not keep that commitment to yourself, especially if it's a weight loss thing, right? So you're talking about habit changes. If you like to sit around all day, or if you find yourself sitting all day typing or working on your business, right? And you haven't been taking the time to start exercising, you might tell yourself, I don't have time. So you want to reframe that. And a good exercise for this that I was reading when I was researching this is to write down those negative beliefs or those potentially harmful beliefs, right? Like, I am not good at weight loss. And then cross that out and write on that side or on the other side, I am practicing new skills for weight loss, or I am practicing better eating habits for myself, or anything like that, where you just take that negative belief that you automatically hear that's not really you. Gosh, that voice is so annoying, right? Just frustrates me thinking about it, like, get out of here. And then you take an affirmation, something positive, or a new habit that you're establishing. So anytime you think that, you cross that out in your mind too, and then you're on to the more positive thought. And with that, the next step, use values-based affirmations. So this is a big thing with Fit for Freelance. Affirmations, I'm a huge fan of them because it's like you start to believe what you tell yourself repeatedly, right? So if you tell yourself you can't do things again and again and again, eventually you're going to like believe you can't do it, right? Or if you mess something up once or twice or a bunch of times, right? You tell yourself you're no good at it, then you're going to give up, right? So that's not going to get you to your goal. So if you write values-based affirmations, that's going to be a key. And so when you work with me on Fit for Freelance and the Guilt-free Game Plan, these are the values that we kind of emphasize because these are the core values of the business: ownership, compassion, adaptive, science-based, and engaging. So if any of those resonate with you, then you should probably work with me. Science-based, also data-based, right? So it's not just about going all willy-nilly. It's about looking at what you see in the data as you track it, so you can improve it over time, right? So huge elements, and we break it down so your affirmations in those positive values are aligned. So I should have had some examples ready. Taking ownership. I do things to help people, and I that's a terrible example on live TV. Come on. So we'll just skip past that one. But adaptive, right? I make timely, accurate adjustments to my game plans for my customers, right? So that's an example. And so you can kind of apply these things into your own life to help you forgive yourself and make progress towards your bigger goals, right? So leave a comment of a value that you want to use or that you want to kind of affirm yourself in so you can practice that more often. All right. And then the next step in the guilt-free process is having a troubleshooting process, right? So we do this on our weekly calls where once you've kind of assessed the feedback, your emotional feedback, and you have a new process in place as far as reframing those big values, you look at troubleshooting what specific issues created that situation, right? So a lot of my coaching is based in positive behavior support at the upper levels too, right? So the individualized, you're looking at antecedents, the behaviors, and consequences. What happened right before? What was in the environment that caused that behavior? And then how is that behavior rewarded, right? So what result did you get from that? And so we will look at things to kind of pick out what we can do differently to set it up. So a big one, like maybe you don't really love working out in the morning, but you find it's the best time for your schedule, but you skipped it, right? So instead of feeling really bad and beating yourself up over that, we just work through these forgiveness steps. And then we create a process, a troubleshooting thing, like maybe go to bed earlier, create a bedtime routine, or lay your running clothes out in the night before, something like that, right? So those are different ways that you can troubleshoot it, and then you can really see the success. And then the next step here, number 7, trying a different way, right? So it doesn't have to be, actually, this is really important to not making the same mistakes again and again, right? So some people, when they're struggling and they're stuck casually implementing things, they won't be able to try a different way, or they haven't thought of things they can do differently. So instead, they just don't try at all, right? So leave some feedback if that's you. If you have something that went horribly before and now you're just like, well, might as well not even try. You want to have this process in place or a process that works for you so you can try something different, right? And then the last step, the secret, practice and understand that it's a learning experience, right? And that's kind of the journey that we're taking people on. And this is kind of the foundation of Fit for Freelance. Is not so much about weight loss and health coaching and personal training specifically. It's more about understanding a process to make better decisions towards your goal in life and in business. And that's going to affect your relationships and your quality of life and your family and all that stuff too, which is all like, probably what you want. So enjoying the practice, even though there's some kind of tough moments, understanding and growing through that and learning to forgive yourself, no matter what kind of came up on your path to freedom and fitness, right? So leave a comment if any of that is memorable to you. And then here we go. Freddie Gibbs, one of my favorite rappers out right now, he said, "I can't hold no grudges. My hands are too busy catching blessings." So if you think about what that means, if you're holding a grudge against someone else or yourself, this is a really good process for you to kind of let those things go so you can see growth in what you really want for your life, the healthy, fulfilling life of your dreams, right? So if you want to practice this with me, check me out. I'm online all over the place. I'm on Instagram. We have a free Facebook group, the Scale Smashers. The comment or the link is in the description. And I'm going to read through these comments right here. Got some people sharing what they're challenged with. They know what it feels like to have to forgive themselves, right? So thanks for that feedback. And that's pretty much it. Keep practicing. I'll see you next week.